That's one small step for man, one giant expedition for all of mankind. 55 years ago, man landed on the moon with NASA's Apollo 11 mission. Now it's time to take on Mars. Now, we're not talking a couple of men trudging through Martian soil, though, apologies, Armstrong and Aldrin. The kind of numbers we're looking at are far, far greater. Not only does Elon Musk aim to get one of his rockets to Mars at some point in the next 5 years, the space aficionado has recently announced his impressive end goal: transporting 10 million people to the Red Planet. Why establish human settlements on a landscape with an average temperature of minus 64 degrees Fahrenheit? A climate so inhospitable, removal of your much-needed spacesuit would cause your blood to boil and your lungs to collapse in an instant. Not to mention the chlorine-filled water, the high chance of solar flares, and dust clouds stretching as far and wide as the eye can bear. Charming. Whether you agree with this lofty venture or not, Musk has put together a highly ambitious and some might say unrealistic plan to colonize Mars with SpaceX's Project Starship, and he won't be stopping anytime soon. Stay tuned to find out why Musk thinks this project is worth its weight in space dust, exactly how the lucky or not so lucky few will be getting to Mars, and what sort of terraforming will be required to make the Red Planet a viable alternative for, well, 10 million of us. So, why colonize Mars? It's no secret that Elon Musk is a sucker for a challenge. The threat of environmental collapse? A meteor strike? World War III? Nukes about to be triggered by the big red button in DC? No fear, we'll move to Mars. According to Musk, his ultimate motivation is to ensure the survival of the human species. He believes that if we do not become interplanetary and go beyond our solar system, annihilation of all life on Earth is a certainty. The extinction of all living creatures on planet Earth is a pretty solid motivator after all. Some might say that we'd be better off focusing on improving conditions on the planet we already occupy. But if there's no plan B to set up shop elsewhere, why not make it Mars? First things first, how will we get to our next home? Now, in order to begin the big Mars takeover, SpaceX has been busy making the world's largest and most powerful rocket, the Starship. Starship combines a first-stage booster rocket named Super Heavy and the Starship spacecraft. This impressive piece of kit has a plethora of applications, delivering satellites, enabling the development of a moon base intended for scientific research and perhaps an expensive holiday, as well as carrying both cargo and a crew of up to 100 people from Earth to the moon. And lest we forget, to Mars and beyond. Another pioneering aspect of Starship's design is its standing as a fully reusable transportation system, the very first of its kind. According to SpaceX's CEO, Starship's reusable design is not only an environmentally conscious feature of the rocket, but it is vital for the creation of a self-sustaining city on Mars. Standing just shy of 400 feet, Starship is pretty damn roomy. But in order to establish a city fit for 10 million people, it's definitely preferable to keep using the same rocket to transport all the essentials. Starship has had 3 unmanned test launches so far. The first in April 2023 saw the launch pad set on fire before a mid-air explosion occurred. The second test was equally fiery. On March 14th of this year, 2024, Starship launched from SpaceX's Boca Chica, its Texas-based facility, and achieved several ambitious objectives. 6 Raptor engines shut down after takeoff, which allowed the rocket to journey through space. A propellant transfer was completed. A relight of the rocket's engine occurred in space for the first time. Finally, the vehicle's payload door opened and closed successfully. Good news for future satellite deliveries. Maybe we'll even have Uber Eats on Mars. While Starship passed various tests with flying colors on its third launch, at the end of Starship's mission, SpaceX lost connection with the rocket before it later splashed down in the Indian Ocean. Despite losing the craft and its unintended journey to the sea floor, Elon Musk was resolute that Starship will make life multiplanetary. If you're not failing, you're not learning. Hopefully, launch number 4 will see more steps in the right direction. If Starship proves to be a complete success, what lies ahead for life on Mars? SpaceX's grand plan is for Mars to be occupied by people from many walks of life, not just scientists and researchers. After all, we can't ignore the top rungs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs just because a meteor shower destroyed planet Earth in the year 3000. So, if music be the food of love, play on. We're talking musicians selling out stadiums on Mars. Well-concealed ones, given the 95.32% carbon dioxide levels, staff to flip burgers, admin moms and dads to run municipal offices, nurses, teachers, hell, even sommeliers. All the trappings of a well-oiled civilization running squeaky clean on Project 10 Million. And not just one city either. Musk aims to set up a number of cities on the Red Planet. Paul Wooster, principal Mars development engineer for SpaceX, voiced, "The idea would be to expand out. Start off not just with an outpost, but grow into a larger base. Not just like there are in Antarctica, but really a village, a town, growing into a city and then multiple cities on Mars." This snippet wasn't the result of some Vox Pop interview held at SpaceX's headquarters, but was in fact overheard at the 21st Annual International Mars Society Convention held in August 2022. Guys, it's happening. It's really happening. But is it though? How hard would it be to terraform and colonize Mars? There are some substantial barriers to a cushy retirement on the Red Planet. First of all, let's talk atmosphere. No, not how vibey it is, but the chemicals that comprise the air. Mars's atmosphere is really quite inconsiderate considering a Homo sapiens constitution. It has a thin atmosphere primarily composed of carbon dioxide, 95%, molecular nitrogen, 2.85%, and argon, 2%. To put it plainly, 1 second of exposure to the air on Mars would cause our lungs to collapse, our blood to boil, and our brains to lose consciousness in less than 15 seconds due to the low atmospheric pressure and lack of oxygen. It's also very cold, colder than any unforgiving January in Siberia, as in Mars has an average temperature of minus 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Mars lacks the strong magnetic field that we have here on Earth, making it exposed to harmful solar and cosmic radiation that could easily be deadly, and at the very least cause cancer rates to soar. Wearing a pressurized spacesuit at all times would be essential for our survival on Mars. Now let's talk gravity. The surface gravity on Mars is 38% of the surface gravity on Earth. If you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you would weigh only 38 pounds on Mars. This is not a diet plan. This is an inconvenience. It would wreak havoc on our long-term health, likely affecting fertility levels too. Terraforming Mars would require the implementation of drastic countermeasures for the numerous barriers that the planet poses to us measly humans. Injecting oxygen into the atmosphere, for instance, would take a fair few trips by the presently prone to the odd fire or two Starship rocket. Whilst astronauts aboard the ISS have a rigorous exercise plan to try and counter the significant muscle and bone loss that a sedentary life in space induces, it might be unrealistic to establish a planet-wide, say, 4-hour-a-day exercise program as a bare minimum for life on Mars. The vast majority of the scientific community recognize that traveling to, terraforming, and ultimately colonizing Mars is not necessarily impossible, but rather the kinds of technology and time frames required precludes the possibility of establishing a colony on the red planet. You can call it pie-in-the-sky thinking or outright delusional, but who knows what the future holds? Maybe one day man will make it to Mars. Maybe 10 million of us will. SpaceX's Project Starship might well be a roaring success, fires be damned, but for now, Musk's mission for Mars can only be looked at through red-tinted spectacles here on planet Earth.